Well, welcome back to my channel. This is Richard McIntyre here, and this is part 6 of the Decca Salon 130 or 103. So in this video, I'm going to be putting the lid back on the gramophone, and also what you're looking at now is where the record sleeves are. This fits into the top of that, so I'll be doing that, and also at some point I'll be fixing the sound box, so stay tuned. Also, don't forget to pop over to my last video about the trip to Ennerdale in the Lake District, which I've put a series of clips and some amazing photographs. So if you're interested in the outdoor life, then by all means just pop across to that channel and have a look. Right, so now I think you can just about see it. I've actually re-screwed the piano hinge. I think we just go in a bit closer. The piano hinge back onto the lid, and also the catch there. The catch system is quite interesting. I don't know if I can do that one-handed, but you push this in here and then it shuts. So I might have to put you down for that bit. But so that's back in again now. I somehow have ended up with one screw more than I started with, which is most unusual for me, because I normally count everything and photograph everything, and I can't understand why that's happened. But it might be that I had a rogue one rolling around in the bottom of the box or something, the box of the gramophone box, I mean. So so that's that bit done. So the next bit I've got to do is I've just got to polish the handle now. I've painted that, and you saw that on the last, you might have seen that on the last video. And I've done that, so that's been done. It's a very short winding handle, but it's actually quite good. I quite like this feature at the front here, where you can actually open and close the port, because this was an early portable design. This is a very heavy machine. I've never weighed it, but it does weigh quite a lot, because that motor really weighs a lot. Yeah, so it's looking good. So this has all been shined up now, the tone arm. I've changed over to this disc because the other one was a bit mucky. So this turntable I think looks quite good, this brown, because it matches the black quite nicely. So I'll use the other one to my spare stock. So the next bit I've got to do is the sound box, which I'll come back to you. Right, so now you're looking at the sound box. This is an Elba sound box. And it's buzzing away like anything. It probably means that it needs a gasket changed. I have actually been in here already to have a look a few days ago, because I couldn't resist. And so one of the gaskets I've changed. This is the rubbery stuff. This is like a tubal rubber things. Some have sound boxes, like the HMV number 4 box, which I've got one here. I can't undo this. I should have done this earlier. Let's see if I can get this. All right, here we go. Right, this one here, this is the difference. Right, this one here is a HMV number 4. This gasket needs changing. This sound box is really, as you can see, the diaphragm is in excellent condition, and so is the chrome, but it's tight as a blink as a badger's arse, this one. So and it is very high pitched. So, and I know from playing others that this sound box, the gasket fits inside, and then the micro, this is micro, fits inside that. I've sent off for 2 new ones. I've had to go to the States because I couldn't find any on eBay, so I've actually bought 2, so I'll have one in stock for any other ones that come out. This actually box was badly broken. You can see I've used a bit of an oddball screw there, so I can get the nipple in there so they can fit on. It was working all right, but it needs a bit of adjustment. Anyway, back to the Elba. So the Elba one's here, and then so I know it works, but I haven't changed both gaskets. So what I'll do is I'll open her up, and then we'll have a tour inside. Stay with me. Right, so now I've disassembled the sound box, and I'm going to tell you the different parts we've got here. So this is the main bulk of the sound box. This is the business. Basically, the sound box is the business end that you're using, or what you call it in today's world, a pickup. Okay, and that fits onto the tone arm here like this, and then that obviously plays the record. And what happens is the vibration from the 78 record is then transmitted via this needle bar here onto this very delicate aluminium micro or aluminium diaphragm. It's a diaphragm really, and that vibrates suspended here between the needle pivots here. This is a and they're tightened up. So there's a little bit of lateral movement. There's a little bit of back and forward motion, sort of like that. And obviously the sound is then transmitted into this chamber. It sits on 2 rubber gaskets. This is one of them. This is the one I've just taken out. It's actually quite good condition. That's the one that I had taken out from the top. Somebody's obviously been in here at some point, because and this is the new one I'm going to put in. And then the sound is then transmitted down through by sound waves, by air pressure, down through this hole, and that hole obviously fits onto this hole, which is the tone arm, and then that is amplified down here into the double reflex horn, and what we hear is those sound waves permeating out, and we think, oh, we enjoy the record. That's how it all works. So it's important that the everything is tight, that there's no leaking round here from the sound box to the joints. Basically are all very tight, and particularly that one has to be very tight, and the diaphragm which vibrates has to be tight on its gaskets, and the gaskets act like a bit like a bush, a bit like suspension in your car. They sort of like shock absorbers. They stop any sort of extra vibration apart from what's being transmitted from the aluminium diaphragm. So that's how that works. So I'm going to clean these bits up, and then I'm going to put these bits back, and I'll then come back to you. So right, so now I've got everything cleaned up. You can see that the diaphragm is looking much better. I did that, well, I soaked that in some ordinary washing up liquid with a budgie just to clean that off on a flat surface. Done that. I've cleaned up the front plate and actually polished it with some Brasso, and it actually has come up quite well. So you can see the elbow and the British made bit there. I've done the same to the main casing, and that's looking quite nice and bright now. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put it all back together very carefully, and then I'll come back to you again. So I've decided to put the original gasket back in again, because having looked at it, it's as malleable as the one I had bought, especially, well, not bought, I just bought a length of tubing, this gasket tubing that I got from the Netherlands, and we're going to get it out here. So okay, so I'm going to keep that. I can always change it any time in the future. So I've now put the two back together. I've tightened up the needle bar and the I forget what this bit's called here, the pivot where the needle bar fits into the main casing of the sound box. And I'm going to put the top back on again, like that. The 4 screws are in there, and then what we'll do, we'll give it a test. So bear with me. So okay, so we're going to do a test. This is a test recording only. This is not anything special, so we might need to still tighten a few things up. So I'm going to check the record, and there's a special way of setting the brakes. So I'm just going to see if I can put you down. All right, there you go, sit there. Right, what you do is you bring the needle, you push the button, and you bring the tone arm out. Sorry, you bring the tone arm out, that's it, and then you push the button, and then you go all the way in to the centre, and then that's it then. So then we should be on our way. Okay, I'll set the brake too soon. Okay, well, you get the idea anyway, and I'll do a full play. But I mean, there's no buzzing there, no soundbox sound. Okay, that's with on a Parchord record, Farewell Blues, by Eddie Lang and Joe Venuti. And other all-star orchestra. So, but anyway, yes. Okay, but as you agree, so I think that concludes really the Decca Salon 130. It's an amazing machine, but also it's quite something really, and it's going to be a firm part of my collection now. I've just got to put in the last piece I've got to do is put in here where the records. This bit slots right up in the top here. I think it goes in there like that. And then you can put your records in there like a case and that, so that adds to it really. But yeah, I think you agree with me that this machine is quite an amazing bit of kit really. And as thank you all for watching. I'd just like to say also I've taken into account all the comments that people have been making, and so all future videos will be on this basis, that it will be the project only, and then if I'm doing reviews of say DVDs and records, I'll do that as a separate piece because I think that's probably a better way to do it. Also any adventure stuff, so you'll have Richard's music room, Richard's projects, Richard's workshop, sorry, and Richard's record collection. I think that'll probably be better, and then it will keep the videos fairly synced and tight, and rather than having long winding periods, and I think everyone's agreed to that. So anyway, don't forget to push the like button and the bell so you know when my next video is coming up, and thank you very much for your comments, and as I say, I'll see you on the next one.